a stone. I just don't know where I can go. Fun's getting low. Winter is a coming fast and colder than the last. Pity for me, cold as can be. When breezes blow with ice and snow, no wonder then I think time and again.
Welcome back to Sparky on Ice, the coldest podcast on the planet. I'm Robert Ray, still here in Antarctica. I'm going to start calling on episode numbers, so this is episode number 3. And we're still catching up with some stuff to get you up to date to where I am now. But here goes. I believe we left off right before Willie Field last time. So Willie Field is actually Williams Field. It's named after a pilot, and he was very popular, and so they named the field after him, if I remember right. I'd have to go back and check, but that sounds right. Anyway, Willie Field is our seasonal airfield, and it's only used during the summer. So every year we have to go out and take down the lights and close up the field, put the buildings up on berms. Berms are basically snow hills that we make to keep it from drifting in and covering the buildings up. So, first week of March, the last week of February, first week of March-ish, we're told to go out and get the lights, put them on the trailers, and, that's part of it. And then, winterize the buildings, get them ready to get put up on the berms. So we go out there. It's a very interesting day. I've never been, it's airfield I came in on, but it's not. Now I know things and I can know what to look for, and it's totally different out there. So they have an ice road, and literally a road on the ice shelf. Now, this is not like driving anywhere else in the snow. It is different. We have these vehicles, these big old trucks and vans with really big tires, and really big tires do pretty good on ice, but they are hellaciously bad on new snow. We're pretty much all over the road because just had a snow squall move in and blow snow all over the roads. I hadn't had a chance to get out there and clear the roads. They'd done like the first pass, but the roads were still covered in snow, and our driver it was nerve-wracking my first time out. But we made it there, and it's like 7 miles, so it takes us, 20 minutes to get there because we can only drive 25 miles an hour. And we get there, and we drive out to the airfield, and we look at the lights, and they are just drifted in. So apparently, these are the airfield lighting. So there's a bunch of them, and they sit on these metal channels that are attached to 8x8s. And the problem is the snow has drifted it in, and the 8x8s are buried by about 2 feet of hard-packed snow and ice. I don't know if you've ever dug in snow, not just clearing the snow from your driveway. Dug holes in snow. It's not fun. It's cold out there. It's really cold. It was a nice day, so it was probably like -5 the first day we were out there. So we're out there digging away, and we're thinking there's got to be a better way to do this. This is not right. They can't do this every year. That's just insane. They'll kill their people. So we got a bright idea. We should have one of the plow guys come by and dig up behind the lights so we have a place to put the snow. Because right now we're digging 2-foot holes and we're not getting anywhere. And we're hitting where all the cables are going. They didn't get tied up right for the summer. So the transformers have made these ice hollows, and they're all trapped in the ice. And it's really, really tiring, really, really frustrating. So we get them to cut away some of the snow and ice so we can get behind them. And that's pretty much the first day out there. Here's where it gets difficult. The next day, we hit Con 2. So I guess I should talk about conditions. So we have a Con 3, Con 2, and Con 1. So Con 3 is nice. It's generally what we consider normal weather around here. It is, the winds aren't horrible. They're up to like 45 knots at most. It might be, I think it's negative 50 wind chill is what's allowed on Con 1. I want to say that's right. It could be negative 40. No, it's got to be negative 50. And then visibility's got to be more than like a quarter mile. Now it's con 1. So basically, every day is con 1, even when the weather gets rough. Con 2 is when the wind is over 50 miles an hour, but not over 75, if I remember right. And the wind chill is over, right, it's past negative 50, but not to negative 100 yet. And visibility is less than a quarter mile. That's condition 2. That's when the station starts hunkering down and people start figuring out best ways to stay warm. You don't go anywhere unless you need to. If you do, make sure you got all your gear on because it's really freaking cold. And you don't drive unless you absolutely have to. Con 1 is this total station shutdown. You stay wherever you are when it gets con 1 because it's temperatures past negative 100 on the wind chill. You hit 75 knots or more on wind speed for sustained, and you can't see more than, say, 100 feet or so. If you're lucky, you can see like that. Well, I haven't hit con 1 yet, but I've been guaranteed at least one this winter. So we'll see how it goes. Back to what we're doing. So it hits con 2, and it's con 2 for like a whole day. So all that work we did, getting the lights freed and rolling up getting what cables freed we did, it's all covered in now because the winds blew all that snow and ice right back on our lights. So we're like really frustrated. And about this time, I come down with the McMurdo crud. It's like, so it's a cold, chest cold, but it's weird. It's not your average crud. So I'm down for a couple days. And so they decide, the other electricians decide maybe better just to do the buildings. And then when I get back, we can all tackle the ice again. So, yeah, that's fine. So I take 2 days off. I get better. Trying to avoid people. I'm eating in my room. Just staying out of general public as much as possible. Luckily, I've got a room to myself, so I don't have to worry about making someone. But now we go back out. And you got brand new snow on the snow road. And I'm driving out this time. And I've never driven on snow quite this deep. Now, I've driven around Montana in snow, and I've driven in Idaho in snow, in Utah. But like I said, this is different. That we're doing 25, and it is so hard to keep this thing on the road. I got to back up a little bit. First day out to Willie Field, I forgot about this part. Our driver is one of the electricians. So we had 2 trucks out there. We had the van, which is our shuttle, and got most of the people. And there's also the mat track, which is one of those trucks with the rubber treads for wheels. And so we were headed back from Willie Field to Willie Town so we could go back to McMurdo. And our driver started following the mat track. Well, the mat track can go where the wheeled vehicles can't. So the mat track goes where there's soft snow. Wheeled vehicles need to stay on the hard pack. He wasn't paying attention where he's going. And next thing we know, we're axle deep in the snow. Absolutely stuck. So we had to call the plow guys out. And they got these ginormous, what they call quad tracks. And he comes in, pulls us out. And he was a good, 1/10 of a mile off of the road. He just wasn't paying attention. And that's how dangerous it can get. I imagine had those quad tracks not been out there, had we been staying out late, we'd have been there even longer because mat track couldn't pull us out. And, would have sucked. But, yeah, that was fun. I got pictures and video of that on my channel. So, this time I'm driving out. So... And you got to stay on the road, otherwise you'll sink. You're not going to fall off. You're not going to fall into the ocean. You'll just get stuck. And that's no fun either. So we head back out to Willie. We take care of the buildings that we can. And there's another thing about, like, Willie Field. So you got to take your survival bags because there's you're a good ways out. And there's no way to get back easily. So you got survival bags, which have food and tents and blankets and just extra stuff so you can survive a couple days. And you also have to take your pee bottles. Because like I said in the last episode of When Questions, no, we can't pee outside. We have to have bottles and buckets to take care of our waste products. No fun, but what are you going to do? So that's fun. And yes, everything freezes out there, and I do mean everything. It gets cold. Wind picks up and your face freezes, your fingers freeze, your toes freeze, everything freezes. So we keep digging and we finally get the plow guys out to redo that. It gets a lot easier, and they come around with their forklifts, and they pick up the lights as we're clearing them off. And it's just slow process. We got a lot of lights to do. So a couple days go by doing that. Day 3, we're driving out, and we're right behind the plows. Well, not right behind, but we're about 30 minutes behind the plows. And we see 2 of them stopped up ahead. Okay, we're like, okay, what's going on? So we get out and we walk around the plows. These are the big quad tracks again. And up ahead are 2 penguins. Yes, 2 emperor penguins standing in the road. We can't do anything. We have to wait for them to move. And it's really frustrating because, we've got a job to do. So we have to sit there and watch 2 penguins waddle around the road and not bother them for another 20 minutes. Then they finally get off the road and they head off to wherever they were going. I got a couple pictures, but I didn't get that on the videos that I can put out. So, sorry, some other time. So we head on out, more digging and more digging and more digging. That was the entire 2 weeks of Willie Field was digging, and we were so glad to be done with Willie Field. And that puts us well into March. That's about midway through March when we finally got done with Willie Field. And it was so tiring being out there in the cold and just working. I mean, maybe not as hard as digging clay, but you're working with ice, you're working with snow, and just walking around in this stuff is just really hard on your body. And I haven't worked this hard in a really long time, so I was really tired. But some good stuff came out of this time period. I started to DJ at the local radio station. Yes, we do have a radio station. It's called Ice Radio. And I do a Saturday night dance party. So I play a bunch of dance tracks from 70s, 80s, 90s, and, from the last 45 years or so. It's, I don't know if, I know a couple people listen to it and they seem to like it, so I'm happy with that. And that has been fun. New computer came in, I think, during this time period. So happy to get that. It's not a great computer, but it works and it allows me to do this. So I'm happy with that. I can, do some emails and stuff from my room because now once the main body left, they turned on Wi-Fi. So I don't have to leave my room to get internet for now. So it allows for that. And then we've had some pretty snowy days. We've had some amazingly beautiful clear days. The bay is starting to freeze back over, and yeah, and I'm going to leave it at that because next episode we're going to talk about the extended summer people leaving and some of the new stuff I'm taking on before you catch up to real time. But first, let's take some listener questions. So I've had several people ask about penguins, and yeah, I've seen penguins. I talked about the 2 emperors on this episode. I've also seen some Adelies. Some of them were walking around town. We were coming back from Willie Field one day, and there's an Adelie walking across the road. So we got to stop and wait for him to get by. Luckily, he was passing through. There was one down by the steel pier, and he was molting, so he just didn't want to be messed with. So I got some pictures of him, and it's in the gallery on the website. So Leah asked, what's the best and worst aspect of living here? So the best thing, oddly enough, is the community. I don't think that's odd at all, really. So we live in a community that understands we have to help each other to get along. You could almost, it's very close to very relaxed military, I think, but it's more like a socialist compound. We get free food, we get free health care, our housing is provided, everything you need is provided. Everything you want is reasonably priced. We do have a store, and it's not too expensive. The alcohol's a little pricey here and there, and it's a little much for the backpack. But for the most part, everything we need is provided. There's social clubs, there's bars. We have a coffee house, which is open in the summer. Lounges in the dorms, and there's pool, foosball, and there's open night mic, there's karaoke, there's game night, quiz night. So there's plenty of social interaction and the community that goes around. The worst thing is, well, that's a really tough one. I want to say the environment, but that's not really the worst thing. And I think the worst thing is the isolation from the world.